Hello and welcome everybody. I hope everybody is doing great and ready to get started with today's session. Welcome once again, and I would like to know, how are you guys doing? Give me your responses here in the chat box. Hello Malali, I hope you're doing great. Thanks for putting the hello in the chat box. So everybody else, I'm waiting to know, are you guys okay? Ready to get started? Shall we begin? You're welcome. That's awesome. Good to know that you're doing well. What about others? Is everybody set up, and are you guys all ready to get started? Shah Mansour says he's doing well. That's awesome. What about others? Great. That's nice. Alhamdulillah. Thank you, dear teacher. What about you? I'm doing well, Tamanna. Thank you so much for asking. And I'm happy to know that you're doing well. Let's see. Muhammad Irfan says he's doing good. You're welcome. Let's go and let's wait for others. Thank you. That's nice of you. Okay, so I'm happy to know that you guys are doing well, and I'm happy to be here with you all. So let's get started with today's session. Welcome to the second session of your listening section with C1 class. Our first session was dedicated to the introduction. We had a brief introduction for both sections, for our speaking class and for the listening class. And today we're going to start our book formally. And I don't know if our admins have shared the teaching material with you guys or not, but I'm pretty sure they have done that, because I actually did share everything with them, and I asked them to let you guys access the material through the platforms that you're in touch with them. I hope you guys have had the material and at least had a look over what these are, like what the book is, what are we going to discuss about, and it shouldn't be so unfamiliar with you. Even if you didn't get the time to do so, we are going to start together, and we would get to know about the course material that we would keep up with the class for this for the period of time that we would be working together. Here you are with the Q Skill for Success 5th book, which is actually the advanced book. We will be working with the listening and speaking section, and the writing and reading sections would be covered the other 2 days of the week. And I'm sure you guys have had the chance to get introduced to your instructor as well, right? We had an introductory session for your reading and writing classes too. So here we go with Q Skill for Success, listening and speaking book, the 5th book, which is our advanced book. And this is where we are going to begin. I wanted to have our today's session as the listening session because this is where our book starts from, and we would have our speaking section tomorrow, inshallah. So here we're going to start with the listening part of our book, so that we can cover the listening part, and then we can move to the speaking part. That would make things easier for you. It's not the only thing that we'll be working on. The book is, of course, the main part, but during the week, I'm going to assign you guys in Google Classroom. I would share short videos with you along with the Quizlets. You would have to take the quiz. The quizzes would be based on the listening. You would have to answer the speaking questions related to the topic that you've been watching the clip, and you would be working on the vocabulary section. What you guys would have to do is you have to take screenshots of your activities and upload them right there in Google Classroom for me to keep a track of your progress. So every week, a video and speaking plus quiz and activities to work on. You would have your assignments from your book. You would work on them, and you would share screenshots from the book. But alongside, you would have short video clips as well. That would help you improve your listening. That would help you improve your speaking, because you watch the video clip and you observe the expressions. You see how they speak, and that would help you get used to the natural pace of your speaking as well. So sounds good? I bet it does, because that would help you. Like, once we get to that part, you would see they're really interesting and really helpful for you. So let's get started with our book, guys. Let's begin with the first unit. As you know, we have 10 units in this book, and we'll try to cover them all and throughout our 16 weeks. And I've already told you about the midterm and final term, and I've already told you about the monthly quizzes as well. So be prepared, and try not to miss your sessions, and try not to miss any of your classes or assignments or the topics that we discuss here. Our first unit here. What is the first unit talking about? In this unit, for the listening part, you would be working on identifying main ideas. You would listen to the audios, and you would be able to identify main ideas of a listening. For the vocabulary part, you would get to know how to use a dictionary, and of course, you would learn many new words. For the grammar part, you would be working on participle adjectives, but the grammar part is not the main focus in this class, because you would be working on the grammar part in your writing sessions, but still, we would have a review of it. You would work on vowel variations, specific sounds for your speaking part, and you would use note cards to speak, to organize your speech. These are the main focus parts of our Unit 1, and the first unit talks about new media. It's interesting. We all are so much involved in social media these days. Everybody is, due to the influence of technology, right? So I'm sure you guys have a lot to talk about when it comes to social media and when it comes to all the applications, when it comes to news. You all have a lot to talk about. The question is, how do people get the news today? I would like to hear from you. How do you think people get the news these days? Volunteers, come up on stage and let's hear from you guys. All right, so let's ask Sayed Wali. Welcome, Sayed Wali, and tell us, what do you think? How do people get the news these days?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thanks for giving the chance to answer the question. Nowadays, people are used to social media and they get news, most of them from different apps such as Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and other apps are also there that can spread news, or they can get the news from them. Most of them is nowadays people use it is X or Twitter. It is very popular for people who are working in government, and they share their news, governmental issues, or other things in this app. Also, Facebook is also used for them in every channel, or every television has their page on Facebook, and they spread their news or they share them with that. That was my answer for the question.
Excellent, Sayed Wali. That was a very complete answer. Awesome. It was impressive. Well, Sayed Wali actually mentioned all these sources. He talked about the social media applications that people use these days to get updated and to stay updated about the news. He named some of those applications, and he actually explained how they're used and how people are actually involved in using them. I would like to have your answers here in the chat box. What about you guys? What do you use to get the news these days? I'm sure nobody's sitting and almost no one goes and turns to a TV channel and sits for hours and listens to the news program. You don't, right? Give me your responses here in the chat box. Let me hear from you. What applications do you use to get updated about the news? Well, talking about myself, as Said Wali said, Twitter is where the X, which is changed, is actually a good source. Malala said my dad. This is a very shortcut way. That is good. Well, yeah, dad normally sits and watches news, so yeah, that's good. Social media, especially Twitter or X, says awesome. What about others? What sources do you use to get the news these days? Faster, guys. You have to give me your responses here in the chat box, everybody. It's not only 3 of us here in the class. Said Wali says X or Twitter and Facebook pages. Yeah, Facebook pages can let us be updated with news as well. Websites of popular TV news. Wow, this was new. Latifa, very good. We do refer to websites of TV news as well. Yes, they actually post the updated news right there, and we can get them from those websites. What about blogs? Do you guys read blogs and stuff? Do you guys turn to them? Any of you? You can write your responses here if you do. Facebook, TV, Hamas says, excellent. All right, so somehow we are all platforms, but mostly X and Instagram. Great. So we're all connected to the news. We all want to keep updated with the news these days. So the applications that you guys named are actually great sources for the news. Yeah, that's right. Now let's see what is used here. What do people use? What are we going to talk about in this unit? How do people get their news? So we're going to start with these questions. It goes like, which form of media do you turn to when you want to get the latest news? And why? Let me check the active students list and the raised hands, those who are willing to come up on stage and to talk about this question. Which form of media do you turn to when you want to get the latest news? What media is the first thing that you would turn to when you want to get to know about the news? Anyone? The second question is, how do you judge if the information from the news is correct? Is it like you only go and read the blogs, you only go and refer to the websites, you only get to know what the news is, but you do not make sure if this is the correct news or not, if you're actually getting the right news, if they're being honest, or that's just a biased idea? Now, there are different possibilities, right? There might be, the news might be correct or incorrect, who knows? So what do? Do you go for further research? Do you have any ways to make sure if the information is correct or not? That's something to think about, right? So mostly what we do is we only go and listen to the news or watch or read it, but then the chances are very low for going and having a research. Let's hear from Shah Mansour Elias. Let's see what he does. Does he actually go and searches if the news is correct or not? Yes, Shah Mansour.
Greetings, I hope you are doing well. First of all, I just want to talk about where I can get most of the news. Most of the news I get from Facebook and as well as Twitter. That just I think this is Twitter that changed their name to X, and there is lots of pages I follow up the pages, and I almost receive lots of news in this platform. The thing that I most consider about the sources where the news is spread out, because I just follow some international organizations that just separate and release the news, like example, Afghan International, and some other resources that of their prestigious organizations, and they just share what before they investigate on that, and after that they share that. And all the time, these sites just release the news that is we say accurate, and there is no any doubt about the thing that the news is fake. Thank you so much.
Great, a very impressive response, Elias. That was nice. So he's actually following some pages that are authentic, and he's sure he's receiving the accurate news, and he's staying updated about them. Well, that is good. Now, what you guys have to do is, I'm going to, let's see what Latifa says. She said, I usually aware all news from certain TV news like BBC and CNN because they mostly tell the truth. Okay, that's good. Now, I will play an audio track, guys. What you have to do is you have to listen carefully and listen to the responses that students in the Q classroom give. So you would hear people answering these questions. What I want you to do is keep your hands up on your keyboards here in the chat box, and you will be sharing your notes. For example, what did certain student say about this question? The name of the student and the thing that he or she said, just in 2 or 3 words. You do not have to write complete sentences. You only have to write the important phrases. Are you guys ready? Shall I play the audio? You have the questions here, and you will hear students talking about these questions. So listen carefully and drop your notes by the end of the audio. As the audio ends, I want you guys to drop your notes here in the chat box. I'm going to play the audio. Listen, everybody.
Unit 1, New Media, the Q Classroom.
Do you guys have the voice? Is it clear? Okay, so listen, everybody.
Page 3.
Today we're beginning Unit 1. Every unit in Q starts with a question. As we go through the unit, we'll continue to discuss this question. Our answers may change as we explore the topic. The question for Unit 1 is, how do people get the news today? So how about it, Yuna? Where do you get your news?
We're going to talk about the first student, Yona. Let's see what she says. How does she get the news?
I mostly. Where online? Do you watch news videos, read blogs, or magazines?
I read the headlines. Sometimes I click on a story. Sometimes I watch the video.
What about you, Felix? Where do you get your news?
I'm very interested in the news, so I get it from a lot of different places. I read a couple of blogs that cover topics I'm interested in. I check the main Spanish and English news sites. When something important is happening, I also watch the news on TV.
Wow, you really do keep up. Marcus, how would you compare the news we get today to the news our parents and grandparents got? Could Felix's father have been as well informed when he was Felix's age?
Well, of course he didn't have access to online news sites. He probably got a lot of it from the newspaper. Oh, I pick up a newspaper once in a while too.
Of course you do. Go on, Marcus.
I was going to say that one benefit of a newspaper, whether it's online or in print, is that a big organization like a newspaper company has a reputation to protect. They try to give accurate, well-researched news reports.
What do you say, Sophie? How do people get the news today?
When something important is happening, a lot of people get their news through social networks. The information may not be as accurate or well-researched as it would be from a big news organization, but you can really get a sense of how the events are affecting the people involved.
Good discussion, class. Throughout this unit, we'll keep looking at how people get the news today, and you can continue to share your opinions.
All right, that was great. So did you guys get everything? Did you guys notice all the details about all 4 students? About Yuna, about Felix, Marcus, and Sophie? I'm sure you did. So let's, I'm getting responses here in the chat box. I go through all of them. That's nice. But you guys have to come up on stage and tell me about Yuna. Who is going to tell me about Yuna? How does she get the news? And what did she say? Is there anybody who would like to come up and share their ideas about what Yuna said? Yes, Tamanna.
In the name of Allah, a person by the name of Yuna said that she is going to watch like more news from blogs, like online, and headlines, and she is gonna watch stories and also watch a video which like when she watching blogs headlines, she also watched a video.
Awesome, Tamanna. A very good response. So that was like online sources. That's what she said. Great. Let's talk about Felix. Who would like to talk about Felix? Did you guys get what Felix said? Anybody? who would like to talk about what Felix mentioned? What are the sources he gets the news from? Yes, Malali.
So Felix said that he is so interested in news and always he follows the news. And it is different. Sometimes he watched TV, and sometimes just he follows some blogs, and it is always different for him.
Great. That was an awesome response, Malala. You covered it perfectly. Medina, let's ask you about Marcus. What do you think? What he said? Did you get anything about his speech? Yes, Medina. Okay, I think Medina doesn't have my voice. Well, let's come to the next participant, Elias.
Thank you so much for giving me the second chance. So Marcus just mentioned that he just get most of their news from newspaper. And he also mentioned that either the newspaper is printed or he just search that on the online. Both of the resources reliable and prestigious, and that is the reason he just get their news from newspaper.
Excellent. That was awesome. And the other important thing that he said was like, I trust the news sources because they are like big companies and they would definitely do their research and try to come up with the most accurate and up-to-date news. So they do not want their reputation to get down, right? So they are doing it. That was great. And who would like to talk about Sophie? She mentioned some points as well. Did anybody notice what Sophie said? Yes, Tamanna, let's hear from Sophie.
Okay, thank you so much for giving me the second chance. Sophie is like, if I talk about bravely, like,
do you have my voice,
Tamanna? Can you hear me? Okay, like if I say bravely, Sophia is watching, like, getting news from a lot of social networks, and also from a big organizations.
Excellent. That's what she said. So is everything clear about what these students discussed? Is everything clear about what these 4 students talked about and the sources that they get the news from? Well, you know what the good thing is, guys? The good thing is, like, you guys got the information just by listening to the audio once. It shows that you guys already have the C1 level and you're ready to move on, and your listening skill is actually good. You can get information when you hear the audio once, and that was good. Good to know that. So it means the work is going to be easier for the rest of the session as well. So here we go, and now you guys have a survey. All right, we've got a list here. I want everybody to go to the chat box, and the type of media that I name, you guys have to tell me how often do you use it. If it's always, write always. If it's never, write never. If it's often, you would write often. If it's sometimes, you would write sometimes. So give me your responses. Let's talk about blogs. Everybody in the chat box, how often do you refer to blogs to get the news? How common are blogs for you? Always, never? Taiba says never. Never, rarely, Malali said. Okay, once in a blue moon. Awesome. Never, never, never. Okay, so the percentage for blogs is so low. Often, Shaman should say, it's almost, you guys, like, that's too low. Nobody goes and checks the blogs. Okay, I felt bad for bloggers. Let's go for the second one. Emails for friends. I don't think anybody does that. Do you guys get emails from your friends about news? I don't think. Well, our friends, no, never. All right. Well, this was interesting for me. Imagining my friends sending me emails of what happened in here. Okay. So no, never email, nothing. Just my father says, Malala says. Okay, good. Let's talk about emails from organizations. Do you guys have, have you subscribed to organizations? Some of you might have done that because you said you follow the websites, the international websites where you get the news. Just Telegram, Razia says. Nice. Well, that's getting a good source. Sometimes Mansoor said. Often, rarely, good. That is better than blogs, actually. What about magazines, guys? Do you guys go for magazines? I sometimes do go for magazines. Sometimes Razia says that's what I do as well. Once in a blue moon. Malala, never. Oh no. Sometimes Hamas says, Taiba say never. Sometimes. I've seen one in my life. And you kept that in mind. Go for the second one as well. Make another achievement, Medina. Shaman says, unfortunately, never. Okay, what about podcasts? Well, even if it's not for news, I'm sure some of you may prefer podcasts to improve your listening and speaking, if that's BBC or CNN. You may do that. Always, Malala says, see? Always. Tamanna says sometimes. Hamas says rare. Hamas, try to listen to podcasts more. They don't only keep you updated with the news, but makes your English skills improved as well if you're listening to the English ones. Latifa says sometimes. Okay, good. What about print, mail? I don't think, no, we're not talking about that. Printed newspapers. So do you guys still keep up with the papers, like the newspapers? Do you guys get it in front of your door? Or do you guys order that? Or do you guys even, well, I'm sure you guys only use those newspapers when you are going for the fast food and you would find the newspaper below the eating stuff that you order, and you may get to look at those newspapers. Otherwise, I don't think anybody is going to go for the newspaper, and they're Chinese, Medina says. Okay, well, I sometimes notice English as well. So yeah, mostly they're Chinese. So yes, nobody, I don't eat fast foods, and never even that time. Oh, Malale, okay. Well, I get to see the newspaper when I go for fast food. Other than that, no newspapers. What about radio news programs? Do you guys put your headphones and turn to the radio stations, to the radio FMs, like listening to the radio? I used to, Malale say, and never, okay, you don't listen to the radio. What about others? Sometimes Hamas says, okay, at least Hamas chose this one. BBC, some good programs, good. Never, okay. What about others? Have never done that. Try it. Sometimes radio has some good programs as well. So you just switch between FMs and you find something good to listen to. Just in the car. Yeah, well, you almost do that when you're free or you have nothing to do. Otherwise, you're so caught up with the phones that we didn't even remember we have a radio as well. What about social networking sites? Now we come to the applications and sites, social networking. This is what you all do. And this is what you all named, always, sometimes, Malali say, often. Great, I don't see anyone saying never, because I'm sure there's no one who would say 1,000%. See, always, always. And what about TV? Other than dads, is there anyone who sits and listens or watches TV shows and news? Latifa says always. That's good. I'm sure you're used to listening to that because of your dad. Said Ali says sometimes, often when I'm with my dad. See, Haman says often. Okay, sometimes. Well, great. I get to listen to the news on TV as well when I'm actually passing by and I see my dad is watching the news and there's something interesting going on. I would just stand and listen for a while and watch it. But then it gets overwhelming and I'm like, okay, have a good time listening to the news and I'm out. But yeah, that's Qayyum say just for watching cricket and listening to the updates about that. All right, so you guys, but by like, if that's any source, but we all are still connected to the world outside. We have different ways to get the news, but we still do. We still need to know about what's going on around us. We still need to know what is happening. So, and news is actually the best source. And it doesn't matter what resource do you use, if that's TV, radio, or any other source, but it's good to be connected. Okay, now here we're getting started with our first listening. So the listening is going to be about citizen journalism. The name might be new for you. You may not have any ideas about citizen journalism. So it is new, but we will get to know what citizen journalism is by the end of this session, and we will get to know what it talks about and what sources are actually mentioned here. Before listening to the audio section, before listening to the listening part of this, we are going to work on the vocabularies together. So when you get to know the meanings of these words, you would not have any problems. You will not have any issues when you listen to the podcast, when you listen to the audio track, right? Because you already know what these words are. So what you guys have to do is read these 4 sentences, and you see the bold words, right? You see these words are bolded here. You would match them to the definition right here. For example, I would do the first one for you guys so that you can do the rest. Number 1 says, my parents don't like to check the news online. Their viewpoint is that online news is too subjective and it's less reliable. Okay, so what is viewpoint here? What does that mean? You guys already have a definition in mind, but let's find it here. Is viewpoint an underlying principle or an idea or a fact that supports something further? No, it's not. A way of thinking about a subject, an opinion. This sounds, this is like similar, very special or unusual, a system of trying me to talk people. No. So what is it? Viewpoint means a way of thinking about subject and an opinion. Read the rest of the statements and I'll want you guys to give me answers. So viewpoint is here. This is the viewpoint. Let's go for the next one. Yes, Medina. Tell me about the second one. Read the statement and give me the definition.
Hello, ma'am. Do you have my voice?
Hello and welcome. Yes, I do.
Thank you. Second, the foundation for any good news report is a strong desire to uncover and deliver the truth. Well,
what do you think? What is foundation?
Description for this is letter A, an underlying principle, an idea, or a fact that supports something further.
Yes, an underlying principle or an idea or a fact that supports something further. Let's go for the next one. Tuba Yusufi. Read the other statement. Number 3.
Okay, first of all, hello dear all. Hope you're all doing great. So we're just doing a lot of good work with wants to found and think. Best option for this would be to meet people.
Great. So found networking, the third word here, is you can read the statement and you would get to know. It says, Ted is doing a lot of networking with fellow journalists because he wants to find a new job. Like networking, it means a system of trying to meet and talk to people. This is networking. And the other one, Malala, read the next one.
I think the last one. Okay. Many blogs don't seem to have a unique opinion about stories or events. In fact, they are sometimes copied directly from other places. So it's this C, very special or unusual.
Excellent. So unique means very special or unusual. Is everything clear about these 4 words? Did you guys understand what foundation is, what viewpoint is, what unique is, and what networking is? Great. So you might have already had the information about these words and you knew them, but now we are going to work on the rest of the words here, some new words. So let's talk about the other words. So we have 4 new words: unfolding, accidental, bias, and accountable. We're going to read the statements and we're going to find the definitions for these words. The first one, the events were unfolding so quickly that the photographer was unable to capture them all on film. What do you think is the meaning of unfolding? Unfolding. Everybody, what do you think? What is the meaning of unfolding? Any idea? Yes, Elias, what do you think is the meaning of unfolding?
So unfolding means separate out, or something happening that just separate or release something.
Okay, so what do you think is the definition here? E, F, G, or H?
I think if happening at the moment or take place.
All right, so let's take it F here. Do you guys agree? Give me thumbs up if you agree. Unfolding means happening at the moment or taking place. Unfolding. Let's hear from Malali. You gave me thumbs up, Malali. Why do you think this is not the right definition? And what do you think is the right one? Hamas says E.
Not is not, but F happening at the moment or taking place.
Okay,
yes,
so Elias' response is correct, and
yes, I
it is.
Thought, yes, I just thought that it is like accidental. I'm sorry.
No worries. So unfolding means happening at the moment or taking place. That is the right definition. Some of you say E. E says happening by chance or not planned. Don't you think that is accidental? Accidental means something that happens by chance, something that is not planned and that just happens. So this is accidental. Did you get the meaning? All right, guys, good news. Power, like we didn't have electricity. I was sitting in the dark here and my laptop just gave me the notification. It said no power and it's going to shut down. And I was like, oh my goodness. Now I have to say goodbye and I'll have to leave the session for the other day. But what happened is power is back now, like at the 99th second. Now this is the good news. I got the we got electricity back and I'm happy. Now I'm going to continue. Well, I wanted to share this with you all. Okay, so yeah, accidental means happening by chance, not planned. What about bias? Anybody? Do you have you heard the word bias? I'm sure you have heard. What does that mean? Tamanna, what do you think bias is?
I think H, a strong feeling for or against something.
Excellent. A strong feeling for or against something. Like that's bias. Have you heard people saying, oh, your opinion is biased or based? It is like you have a strong feeling against or towards something. You're not generalizing. You're just taking a side. This is bias. And what is accountable, Tuba? Do you know what accountable is? Yes, Tuba.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I have one. May I say the definition or the synonym for this?
Yes. Read the definition. What is the definition for accountable? Accountable means.
Okay.
Okay, so accountable means
responsible for decisions or actions.
Excellent. Responsible for decisions or actions. It means like you have to be accountable for what you do. Like you have to take the responsibility. You have to accept what you did here. This is being accountable. Do you guys understand these 4 new words as well? Is everything clear? I'm sure that it is. They're good words. They're like you use them a lot. They're daily conversation-based words. You need them. So it's good to learn all of them. Let's talk about 4 last words. Before I ask you the definition, anonymous. Is there anyone who would know what anonymous is? Like you don't even need to look at the definition. Tell me what is anonymous. Yes, Said Wali. What is anonymous?
Anonymous means something that is not known or unknown name.
Excellent. So here we have the definition I. It is anonymous, something which is unknown. Well done. What is upfront? Upfront, Latifa. Do you have any idea like what upfront is?
Hello, ma'am. Thank you. I think upfront, letter G, sorry, Cal, not trying to hide what you think or do honest.
Excellent. So it is upfront means not trying to hide what you think or do, like being honest. That is upfront. Excellent. That was awesome. And you actually spoke, I don't know, that was like you spoke slow or I didn't hear that. There's a problem with the mic if you're using headphones or something. I was almost like lying on my laptop, like putting my head on the speakers to hear what Latifa is saying. Try to raise your voice a little bit, Latifa. That was like a torture for me. So try to speak louder because you have to participate in the class more and you have to speak louder so that I can have your voice clearly. Let's go for the next word, everybody. What is source? That's easy, right? Like, what does source mean? Qayyum, could you tell us what source is?
Person or document that provide information.
Excellent. This is source. Like, doesn't matter if that's a person or a document, but it provides information. And let's ask Abdul Nafi Himmat to tell us about what technique is. What do you think is the meaning of technique? Do you have my voice, Himmat? Himmat, I can hear some noises coming from your side, but I don't hear your voice. I don't know, like if you're, that's not even Himmat, that's Qayyum Afan who is unmuted. Okay, Himmat, yes, please.
A way of doing something using special skills.
Excellent. A way of doing something using special skills. This is called technique. Is there any problem with the words, guys? Is everything clear about these words? And do you know the definition? Well done. And what I want you to do is you have to use these words throughout the unit, throughout the discussions that we're going to have, throughout the speaking part that we would have, all right? I'm not fine and my voice is damaged. Oh, no. Well, wish you a speedy recovery, Latifa. Don't worry, you will get well. This is like seasonal, it happens. Okay, so guys, are you all ready and excited to get to know what citizen journalism is? Tuba says I read them in my notes. Well done. Everybody has to do what Tuba does. Like these words, you can write the word for yourself with the definition somewhere so that you repeat them and use them. Don't just be happy that, okay, I learned the word and the definition and that's it. What would happen? Like you have to use it. Use it as much as you can. When you speak, when you write, try to use these words. So they are for you to use them. Okay, now here we're going to get started with the listening. What is citizen journalism? What you guys would do here is you're going to listen to an interview with Robin Hammond from the website cybersoc.com. So this is going to be an interview, all right? I'm giving you details so that I can make things easier for you. The topic is citizen journalism, okay? And the way members of public help collect the report and report the news. Members of the public. So citizen news means the citizens are collecting the news. The citizens are helping the news websites and all to collect the news. Like normal people who are not journalists, they are helping to collect the news and report the news. This is why we call it citizen journalism. Before we start listening, it says, check the activities you have participated in, then listen to see if you fit in Hammond's description of a citizen journalist. Give me thumbs up if you guys have ever written articles for a school or local newspaper. Is there any writer? Is there anyone who has written an article for school, for newspaper, for anything? Thumbs up if you have done, thumbs down if you haven't. Thumbs down, lots of thumbs down. And you know how sensitive I am to thumbs down. Oh, Malali, great. That's nice. Tamanna, awesome. So we have some writers as well. They have written articles or like articles for school or newspaper. What about posting blogs? Have you guys ever posted blog entries or even commented your opinions online? I'm sure you guys have done that a lot. Very good. Like you do comment. If there is a video, you would go and comment. If there's a blog, you would go and comment. Malala said no this time. She doesn't do that. Well, I don't normally participate in comments as well. So yeah. Okay. What about posted something about news on social networking sites? Have you guys been the source of a news ever? Like, okay, you heard something happened, it was interesting, and you posted that. You wanted everybody to know, like, this thing happened. Thumbs down and thumbs up. Mansoor says yes. Wakil says yes. Irfan says no. Tamanna says no. Okay, so we've got some news reporters, and we've got some students who do not even care about that. Like, why would I do that? They would get to know from wherever they want. I'm not a news reporter to report everything. What about posting a video to a site such as YouTube? Do we have YouTubers? Do we have those who are using YouTube here for posting videos? Malala says yes and great. Qayyum says no. Mansoor says no. Latifa says no. Okay, so we do not have YouTubers. Only Malala said yes. Malala, what videos do you post on YouTube?
If I be honest, I was just 13 and I was posting some cartoons.
Okay. So you started from a very young age. Does that channel still work? Is it still active?
I still have that channel, but I just deleted everything, and I didn't post anything again.
Oh no, that's sad. Well, you were a kid and you posted cartoons at that time. Now as an adult, you can go for posting other useful stuff for people to learn and to use, right? So great. Now, those who gave thumbs up, congratulations, everybody. You can be part of Hammond's program, the cybersoc.com. And those who gave me thumbs down, I'm sorry to let you know you're not eligible to be part of this program, but still, you guys are going to listen to the audio track here, and you guys are going to identify the main ideas. Before we do that, I want you to know what you guys are going to listen for. So you know what is the title. It is Citizen Journalism, okay? This is the title. Now, what do you guys have to take notes for? You know, when you listen to an audio, you have to get your pen and paper ready, everyone. And I'm saying that seriously. You have to have a pen and a paper, or you can even use your keyboards to take notes. And what points do you need to take notes on? First, you have to know, what is citizen journalism? Okay, this is the statement. Then I will ask you, like, what is citizen journalism? You have two options. You will have to choose one of them. The host says something. You have to tell me, what is citizen journalism? The second thing that you need to know is, how has watching citizen media and social networking sites changed from a long time? How has things changed now? How were websites before and how are they now? What are the changes? You will read these and you will tell me, so listen carefully. The other important point is, are there times where citizen journalism has really sort of taken to forefront of the news gathering? Like, you will have to listen, and you all have to get all the important points as much as you can. I'm not going to let you know about the other points because I want you to note all the important details. You know what our main ideas, you know what our main points in an audio. Is everybody ready? Shall I go and play the audio track here? Are your pens and papers ready, guys? Awesome. So here we go. And I want you all to listen carefully and take notes. You will need your notes to answer these questions and to choose the best option. So listen.
Listening 1. Citizen journalism. Listen for main ideas. Page 6.
Robin Hammond from Headshift, which is an agency that advises organizations and governments on blogging and other aspects of social media. And he's a visiting fellow in the College of Journalism at City University in London. And yes, even his 2 toddler children have a blog of their own. And I began by asking him to define what citizen journalism is.
Okay, so we're going to get the definition of what citizen journalism is.
Citizen media is ordinary people. Sometimes they're people who have been trained as journalists. Other times they have no journalistic training whatsoever. But they're people who become interested in a story or an idea, and they go out and they start reporting on it and telling the world about it. Sometimes they'll do that in the same way as one would hope journalists would do, which is, gather the facts, make sure everything's been checked 2 or 3 times, and then run the story. Other times it's full of opinion and personal viewpoints that haven't been checked.
Okay, so you guys at least got an idea of what citizen journalism is. He said people might be trained as journalism or not trained. Like, they're common people, they get interested in a story or an event and they try to collect information. Even they sometimes go for checking the ideas 3 or 4 times, and then that's how they work, right? But they may not be trained. They're not journalists. Hello, dear class head and assistants. I have to go somewhere with my father, so I'll need to be present from now and tonight. So all right. So sadly, try to not miss the sessions anymore, and try to keep an eye on the Google Classroom so that you get your assignment as well. Okay. I'll keep track of it. I'll keep it in mind. So listen. Let's continue, guys. You understood what citizen journalism is.
May or may not have any kind of foundation in truth.
You've been involved in watching citizen media and social networking sites for a long time. How have they changed over the years?
On one hand, it's become a lot easier to do. People are now, for the most part, used to doing things like taking a digital photograph and uploading it to the internet or emailing it to a friend, creating a document on their computer, maybe printing it, emailing it. So people are used to kind of the basic tools of home computing. And actually, you don't need to know a whole lot more to set up a blog or to post a photograph to a photo sharing website, or indeed to take a video on your camera phone, upload it to the internet, and show it to millions of people on YouTube.
Are there times when citizen journalism has really sort of taken to the forefront of news gathering?
Before we go and talk about the forefront of the journal citizenship, but the other thing before this, we talked like, how has things changed now? What Hammond said is, it's getting a lot easier now, right? Because people have access to technology, they are just taking pics and they share it everywhere, so things have become much easier.
Well, it kind of depends on how you define citizen journalism, because a lot of times people who fall into the bucket of citizen journalism are actually people who just happen to witness something, happen to have a unique viewpoint or unique access at the moment the story broke, and all they did was try to tell their friends what they saw. So, for example, we had the guy who took a photograph of the plane sinking in the Hudson River last year from a ferry, and all he was trying to do when he uploaded that photo was to tell his friends, whoa, I'm on a ferry, and I've just seen a plane crash in the water, and there's people swimming out of it. This is crazy. So he wasn't trying to become a journalist. He wasn't trying to report to the world what he saw. He was just trying to tell his friends and people that he knew this crazy and bizarre scene that was unfolding in front of him. There are many, many examples of citizen journalists or accidental citizen journalists out there. Many of them are great examples of people just trying to tell a story. Occasionally, the flip side of the coin happens, which is people with a particular viewpoint, really trying to press that viewpoint home. They do have a bias. They do have an opinion. And there's lots of good examples of that out there, too.
It seems one of...
Okay, so did you guys notice the example? The example of the guy who just noticed the plant was sinking, and what happened is he took a picture and shared it with his friends. He was not intending to be a journalist or to report the news. He was just trying to tell his friend how excited the show in front of him was. So this is what he did, and that was totally unintentional.
The criticisms of citizen journalism is that they're not as accountable as branded corporate journalists are. Because in most of the time, blogs haven't been around long enough. Some of them are anonymous. How are they dealing with that concern?
Well, one of the interesting things about blogging and citizen journalists is that for a long time now, most people who are doing it have been quite concerned about openness and honesty and transparency, about any biases that they might have. So unlike a typical traditional media outlet where if a journalist happens to have some particular bias and not tell that to the audience, tends not to expose that to the audience because they don't want to think that they might be biased. In the instance of most citizen journalists and bloggers, they're actually pretty upfront about that sort of thing.
What's the next step in the evolution of journalism and citizen journalism?
I think one of the reasons why citizen journalism is becoming so interesting to a lot of people at the moment is this idea that the person who does the story usually tells people their background, any biases they might have, any opinions that they may have before they started covering the story or deep formed as the story came out. That's something that's missing from mainstream media, but I hope we start to see a lot more of it. I don't see any reason why a journalist who has a particular bias, who has a particular opinion, shouldn't tell the audience that up front so that they can make their own mind up about how that bias might or might not have affected their coverage of the story.
Okay, so did you guys notice everything about citizen journalism? Do you guys have an idea of what citizen journalism is? I bet you do. Now, what I want you guys to do is I'm going to read these statements, and you have to give me the answers in the chat box. The first one. What is a citizen journalism? Citizen journalism is news reported by someone with or without journalistic experience who is interested in the story, or citizen journalism is news reported by newspaper journalists that include personal viewpoints and opinions. What do you think? A is correct. Medina says A. Well done. You guys are right. So the citizen journalism, they are not experienced journalists. Who are they? They're citizens. Let's go for the second one. That was impressive. Well done for the first one. It says, how has the citizen media and social networking sites for a long time not changed over the years? The first point is the quality of citizen media reports has been going down steadily over the years, or it's easier for people to participate in citizen media now because of easy access to technology. Well done. I already have responses in the chat box. B is correct. Awesome, guys. Number 3, are there times where citizen journalism has really sort of taken the forefront of the news gathering? So the accidental journalist is the most common example. Sometimes someone who happens to be at the scene of the news event can report it more quickly, or report or news by a non-professional reporter can be more accurate or less biased. What do you think, guys? Number 3, give me responses. So it says, are there times where citizen journalism has really sort of taken to forefront? A is correct. Yes, you are right. So the accidental journalist is the most common example where somebody who notices something instantly, they try to share it. So that's the accurate source. They are explaining what they saw. Nice. Number 4, it seems that one of the criticisms of citizen journalism is that they're not accountable. They're not reliable. So let's read the options together. How are people dealing with this concern? The concern has got citizen journalists to be more open and honest about who they are and what their biases are than traditional journalists, or citizen journalists who are serious about reporting the news often go to become more educated and get journalism degrees. Do they go for taking degrees, or they're just being honest? They're just sharing their opinion. Excellent. I get the responses. A is correct. They are sharing first-hand information, like the forefront, and they are not worrying about getting a degree, but they're just being honest and telling people what they noticed. and they're actually telling them about their ideas as well. Like if they have a bias, they have a certain opinion about something, they would share it. But what about traditional journalists? They do not share their ideas, right? They do not take sides. They're just generalizing. They're just telling us what are the both sides. They're not allowed to go for taking a side. What about the fifth one? What's the next step in the evolution of journalism and citizen journalism? In another decade, almost all journalists will be citizen journalists. Did you hear something like that? Or traditional journalists will use the techniques started by citizen journalists. Did you guys hear like what Hammond said? He said, I don't know why people are afraid to share their opinions. Why are they not telling about their ideas? If they have a sort of bias, they should express that. So B is correct. Excellent, guys. That was impressive. Why is B correct? Because he just suggested, he said, traditional journalists have to use these techniques and learn from citizen journalism, and they should share their opinions with people about different news and stuff. Is that clear, guys? Did you guys understand everything about citizen journalism? Before ending the class, well, that's impressive. I was impressed, like you guys got all the answers correct. And I'm sure you guys took notes for the main ideas. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to find out the answers clearly. What you would do is, it says listen for details. It asks you to listen once again, but I don't think you need to listen once again. Even if you want to, I would share the audio track with you guys in Google Classroom, and I would also share your assignment with you, and your assignment will be working on the second listening. All right, I'll share the second listening here is your assignments and the other important points that you guys need to work on. I would post them in Google Classroom. I would set the deadline with you right there in Google Classroom, and during the week, like until getting to the next session, keep checking, like you would get the email directly, so do not miss the additional worksheets or videos that I post there for you to practice as well. Remember to submit your assignment, whatever I post in Google Classroom, submit it on time before the deadline so that it gets checked and you receive your feedback, and check the additional resources shared out there as well. Is everything clear, guys? Did you guys understand the process? Was it okay with you? Are there any suggestions, or do you want me to change the process or to make differences here? If this is how you learn, then we're going to keep up with this. Otherwise, open to criticism, and we would definitely try to figure out different ways. Was everything clear so far? Did you guys understand the vocabularies? Okay, good. We discussed some questions as well, and you guys participated, but I want you to participate more. All right. And we listened to the audio track about citizen journalism, and you guys did very well. You guys could catch the main ideas perfectly, and that was awesome. So is there any question about today, about the lesson, or about anything? If there's any question, the time is yours. You can raise your hand and you can come up on stage. Anybody? Any questions? No questions? Okay, this is all for today. Keep an eye on the Google Classroom, stay updated, and we are going to end the session right here. See you all next session with new topics to learn from and to discuss together. And I'll be waiting for your assignments in Google Classroom as well. Have a very good time, everyone. That's all for today, and I hope it was useful, and I hope you enjoyed our today's session. Have a good night, and see you all. Goodbye.